Every day life's happening. Some days are more eventful. Others, living protected with insurance you can depend on changes your life for the better. We insure the people and things you care about. Not Agency. We'll help you find the right coverage so when life happens, you have the right insurance protection for your family and business. When life happens, live protected. Agency for all your insurance needs.
Good morning and welcome to Radio Friends on Tuesday, August the 16th. We're going to talk about an interesting project that's actually been put together by MU grad students. I want to introduce you to Nat Graham.
Hi.
Welcome, Nat.
Hi.
And this is called Science on Tap.
Right.
Right? Now, this is a project that the grad students are working on?
Yeah, so it's a project where grad students, we wanted to be able to go out and talk to the community about what it is that we're doing in science, and there weren't that many opportunities for us to do it. And so we also felt that the way people often targeted outreach was a lot to kids, and so we want to be able to hit the 21 and up crowd, so we said, why don't we just go talk about science at a bar? And so that's what we were trying to do.
That's why it's called Science on Tap.
Right.
So how often does this happen?
It happens the fourth Tuesday of every month at 9th Street Public House.
And what do you do?
So it's literally just a happy hour. So you come out and relax, and instead of watching sports or something like that, you go out and there's 2 grad students that will every night talk about what they're doing in science or something exciting going on.
So what was the last one?
So the last one, we had someone talk about how there's an old protein that's native to almost everything. And if you take that protein from one organism to the other, it works just fine. And so they took a protein from a mouse and put it into a plant, and the plant seems to use it just fine. The
plant will use a protein from a mouse?
Right.
Now, what if you put the protein from the mouse into a human?
Well, that's an interesting question, but we don't.
You don't do that?
No.
No, okay. That would be a no-no.
That'd be an ethical no-no.
Okay. What is the next one coming up?
So the next one, we've got 2 talks. One's talking about an old plant that has a lot of copies of DNA in it, and that's allowed it to kind of be the precursor to a lot of the plants that you see in the grocery store, like brassicas or kale and broccoli and cauliflower, and they're all from the same kind of parent. And someone's going to talk about what it is in that parent plant that allowed it to have all these different traits that we've found in the grocery store now.
So how long do these talks go on?
So they're 2 20-minute talks.
And then can people ask questions?
Sure, absolutely. So we have our speakers stay afterwards for a little bit, and so they're definitely willing to have a beer with some people and talk about what it is that they were talking about in a more layman's term than we usually use in the lab.
And what kind of response have you had so far?
It's been pretty good. Everyone seems pretty willing to do it. Everyone's happy to see scientists aren't necessarily the people you see on TV and the robotic creatures that you always see.
And you're not wearing the white coats?
No.
Well, how do they know then when they come in, who the scientist is and who's the person they're
You don't at first until you see them up on speaking in front of the presentation. So that's kind of the cool thing, is it's breaking the mold everyone always thinks of.
Mm-hmm. And all the speakers are graduate students?
All graduate students from various departments at MU.
So if people want to come and be a part of Science on Tap, what do they need to do? Do they make reservations? Or
No,
just show up?
Just show up. There's a Facebook page. You can go to on Facebook, search for.
You guys are pretty laid back on all this.
Very laid back. That's the whole point. Yeah, so you can go to Science on Tap CoMo and find out more if you want to figure out when the next one is. The next one in August is August 23rd.
Okay, so a couple of weeks from now. Or actually about a week or so from now.
Great.
August 23rd. That's where you're going to talk about broccoli and kale?
Broccoli and kale, and we're also going to talk about a kind of a herbal remedy called curcumin and whether it's beneficial or not to take it.
Mm-hmm. And then what's the next one after that? Do you know off the top of your head?
Off the top of my head, we've got one talking about how plants are kind of similar to solar panels. And then we've also have someone who's talking about...
plants are similar to solar panels?
They do essentially the same thing. You bring in the energy from the sun and you turn it into an energy that you can use, which is essentially what a solar panel does.
Well, that's a good description there. Okay, it's called Science on Tap. The location is where?
9th Street Public House.
Mm-hmm. When again?
It is the 4th Tuesday of every month.
And no reservations. You just show up and you'll know who the scientists are when they get up and start talking.
Exactly.
Okay, Nat. Thank you so much for coming by. It's a pleasure having you here. Continued success with Science on Tap.
Thank you.
All right. Now we're gonna turn to a couple of people representing the State Historical Society. GREIG Thompson, good to have you here, GREIG.
Nice to be here.
And tell your lovely wife, Deborah Thompson, we said hi.
I will.
Worked with her many years at the Boone County Historical Society. And Carol Grove. So what do we want to let our listeners and viewers know about?
Well, we're here to let them know about a fascinating exhibition that's just opened at the State Historical Society, Evolving Environments, the Landscape Architecture of Hare and Hare. And Carol Grove is the guest curator for this exhibition.
Mm-hmm. So tell me about it, Carol.
Well, so Hare and Hare, and that's H-A-R-E, is a team of father and son, Sidney J. Hare and S. Herbert Hare. They began this firm in 1910, and they were in business, well, through the 1960s. We have cut off the exhibition at about 1960. But what we have here is a chance for viewers to see drawings and some of the work that never really ever anybody ever has a chance to see.
Yeah, and this is at the State Historical Society.
That's correct.
How long will this exhibit be up?
Through December 23rd.
Okay, so you've got plenty of time if you want to see it. And you were telling me that many of the locations people know and will recognize, but they had no idea who was responsible for them.
Right. Few people really stop to think about the fact that landscape architecture is this field of study that ranges from, say, designing residential gardens and grounds all the way up to urban planning. And so it's this art and science of dealing with shaping
the environment.
Shaping the environment. And though we don't know Hare and Hare as a firm, many of us have been to the places that they have created. For example, the Nelson Atkins Museum of Art in Kansas City, the great sloping lawn at the formal front of the building, and all of the grounds is a Hare and Hare plan from the 1930s. All the changes that have been made to that place have retained that sloping lawn. Herbert Hare said that it was designed to meet the monumental character of the building, which we still see today.
What about in Columbia?
Yeah, in Columbia, Grasslands neighborhood. There's a residence on West Boulevard that some people may know. The Ginn family has lived there for many years. And also, Hare and Hare did a city plan in 1935 for Columbia. And you can come to the exhibit and really take a close look at it. What they tried to envision was urban growth, and they proposed a series of roadways and highways, and in particular parkways that would help make this a greener place. And this is 1935.
Mm-hmm. How would Hare and Hare appreciate the planning of the city today?
Well, I think they would acknowledge that we do have quite a bit of green space, and we have quite a few parks. And I think they would appreciate the fact that someone at some time looked at their plan and took up their suggestion to use Flat Branch Creek as a parkway.
Okay.
Which we've done.
So you can see this exhibit at the State Historical Society through December, what'd you say, December 21st?
23rd.
23rd.
Ground floor of Ellis Library.
And Carol will be leading a walkthrough of the exhibition on the 27th of this month.
Okay, thank you so much for coming by. We're out of time for today. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.